It's Chris Bowling.
Hey, it's Chris Beyer.
We are CB squared in focus today, aren't we?
In focus.
Focus.
Chris, who are we talking to?
We are talking to Dan Molyneaux, our CEO at Molyneaux Insurance, which, as you have always seen, this background says AssuredPartners. So we're very pleased to have Dan to talk about this name change and kind of the transition that Molyneaux has gone through since 1926, people. 1926. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you guys.
So tell us a little bit about Molyneaux. How did it start? You know, who started it? And, you know, with under 2 minutes, how are we where we are currently today?
Always wise to give me a time frame. So agency was formed in 1926, so this would be our 95th anniversary this year. My grandfather started it. So kind of an interesting, fun story, which I won't tell now, about how he met his wife, who became, the reason my dad exists was the reason I exist, this business. Formed the agency in 26. My dad came to the agency in the 50s after college and a couple of years in the Army. When he joined the agency, we had 5 commercial accounts. Wow. 2 of them are out of business, and 3 of them are still customers of ours, actually customers that I handle today. So wow.
Amazing.
People ask me about the agency. That's the first thing that I tell them, because I think it says a lot.
You bet. Well, I had the absolute privilege of knowing your father since 2011. We were very sad to see him leave this earth here in 2021, and I'm sure that weighs heavy on your heart.
Well, he was super proud of us and what we've done here. It's been great as we went through. My sister and I and 2 outside partners bought the agency from him in 92. I'm sorry, 1995. And then we merged with LMC in 2011, and it was really interesting to see my dad's reaction to that, because I was terrified to go in his office and tell him about it. He's like, Dan, sure. This is the next step.
Yeah.
And he felt the same way about AssuredPartners when that happened a year and a half ago.
He was always funny when he would always talk about when he sold it to you and Roger and Annie and Don, is that he sold it for way too cheap.
But we didn't force him.
Well, I know my first day with Molyneaux was in 2016, and it was the 90th anniversary party. It was the best first day you could ever ask for. So almost 6 years myself. And, Dan, with us merging in with AssuredPartners in February of 2020, I mean, what's been different for our clients now that we are AssuredPartners and we're looking to finally put that brand out there officially in early 2022?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's interesting as we look forward to February, when the name will officially change.
Yeah.
We've been AssuredPartners since February of 2020. It'll be 2 years when that just a week short of 2 years. And you'd have to ask them, but I'm fairly certain that you'd have to be hard pressed to find a client who says, wow, things are different, right? There's a few things that we have to do procedurally different. Maybe a disclosure or 2 different because we're part of a national organization. But for the most part, what I've told our staff, and you guys have heard me say this, it's still us taking care of our customers.
Right.
And I don't care what you call us, as long as we're the ones doing it and we do things the way that we've always done it. Molyneaux way doesn't go away just because we have a different corporate structure.
No, that's really good said.
So Dan, people know CB squared as benefits. As you know, we talk about, how to become a higher performing employer. Your side of the business is not what Chris and I do. So tell us a little bit about when we look at AssuredPartners of Great Plains, what are all the various ways we can help our clients?
So you name it, we can do it, right? The one nice thing about a broader organization is we have a greater array of resources. Right. We've got specialists within certain things. You guys in the employee benefits, me, it would be captives or construction. We've got a gentleman in Des Moines who focuses on higher education. We have individuals with all kinds of specialties within our region. But now we also have individuals across the country in the however many hundreds of agencies that we have that we can tap into a broader array of expertise, a broader way of services that, many times doesn't matter a hill of beans to our customers.
Right.
But when you come across that right situation where, hey, I've got a guy, we didn't have that to the same level before, and it absolutely matters.
Good.
So Dan, I know, being a part of Molyneaux is the newest one here on the recording today. I've been impressed with how committed the agency and our team and how we serve not only our clients, but a lot of our clients are also organizations that we support in the community. A lot of nonprofit organizations that we are a part of. It just seems like we have been focused on making our clients, but also our community better. Is that something that came from your dad, from your grandpa? I mean, why so much commitment to the community within that Molyneaux history?
Yeah, I mean, that absolutely. I can't speak for the level of commitment or charitable attitude that my grandfather had. I just didn't have that kind of interaction with him. But certainly it was who my father is. He operated under the principle of the gifts that we have are not for us, they're for others.
Yes.
And he was one of the most generous people that I knew. And that's always been the focus of the agency. We've never used the agency as a lifestyle. There's a lot of that happening where people use the kind of their business to fund their lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's never been part of who we are, but the agency has always been focused on providing charitable contributions, support, et cetera, to organizations in our community, mostly centered around families and kids. That's been typically the focus. And none of that, none of that changes as we go forward.
Which, back in the day when I started, which was 2010, my wife and I had some options. It wasn't just go to, simply take a job at Molyneaux. But one of the deciding factors is I felt like it was a family. And I know that makes you cringe because
it doesn't. I just have a different way of looking at it.
Yeah. But that is something that I felt very welcome, is that not only was I welcome, so was my wife, so are my kids. And it just spoke to me. And I said, this is where we need to be. So
I would echo that too. I think that I remember, right before we decided to make our decision for me to move to Molyneaux, having dinner out with Roger and with Bill and having Lindsay join as well. I mean, it was important that our family was a part of that decision. And I know, again, that isn't going to happen every single day with every single new hire, but I think we have that foundation going back to, again, the Molyneaux way that will carry forward into the rebrand as AssuredPartners. I like that. I just love that part of it.
Yeah, I mean, what Chris refers to is, I always say, look, we're not a family, and we're not, but we're very, 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 very much like one, in that we care about each other and we support each other, and all of those things. And that word family is very sacred to me. But in some ways, we absolutely are that. We embody all of the good things of family here, and that will never change.
Yeah, agree.
So Dan, as you have had quite a few years in the industry, and you've worked with clients, you've helped lead the agency, you've worked again in the community. Do you have kind of a guiding philosophy or a quote you'd like to share as we finish up here today?
I mean, everything we're about is about our customer. I mean, it's you hear that term service, right? We provide good service, and it's a convenient way to just kind of say something that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But for us here, it's always been about servanthood. What is it that our customer needs? How can we help them make their business better? Have a more efficient risk transfer mechanism. Make their benefits work as an asset for their company instead of just an expense. All of those types of things, that's what we do. And we're in a good faith business, and it's never about us. It's always about them. And if we have that attitude, then we'll be taken care of as a result.
Absolutely.
Well said.
Dan, thank you for sharing a little bit of our history as Molyneaux, AssuredPartners, and now as the rebrand comes forward. We appreciate you joining, talking with CB Squared today. Thanks so much, Dan.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Dan.